Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 21 female, am getting married in a couple weeks to my high school sweetheart. About a month ago, my stepsister, 19 female, and I got into a fight about the wedding planning. When we initially went out shopping for my wedding dress, my sister kept making comments about how she can't wait for her own wedding. I wasn't bothered by this because it was a magical moment we got to spend together. However, she got engaged a little while after the shopping spree and tried making everything about herself. When we had to go look for bridesmaids' dresses, she ignored me and my wedding party and talked about what she's going to do for her own wedding the following year. I tried getting my stepsister's attention because I just wanted to get the shopping over with. I was a little annoyed, but I understood that she's just excited for her own wedding and got over it. While we'd go shopping for flowers and other decor for the reception, my sister would rudely tell me how I had awful taste and that it would ruin my entire wedding. As the months went on, my stepsister would go out of her way to make more personal jabs about my wedding. She would make the occasional comment of, "When I get married, I want my wedding to look better than yours. And I want my wedding dress to look better than yours." I thought the comments were unnecessary and didn't quite understand why she was making it a competition. I tried sitting down with her a couple times to talk about how this wasn't appropriate behavior and how the comments really hurt my feelings. She completely ignored me and proceeded to say that if I was pregnant when she gets married, I would be unwelcome to her wedding. This was my final straw, because my stepsister knew that I pushed up my wedding so my future husband and I could start a family soon. I told her that she was being selfish and had no respect for me in this special day. I ended up telling her that she was kicked out of my wedding and could only attend as a guest. Later that evening, my stepsister told my dad and stepmom about the argument, which led to them disowning me and uninviting themselves for my wedding. Now my dad isn't walking me down the aisle, my stepmom thinks I'm a jerk, and my stepsister thinks I got what I deserved. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. The stepsister is being very inappropriate. And if I were you, I would go to the courthouse, get married with just you two, and spend the wedding money on your honeymoon. Cancel this whole thing. It sounds like your significant other is the only one that supports you. Not the a-hole. Shame on your father for not at least hearing your side of the story. Disowning you and not walking you down the aisle is ridiculous. Your stepsister was not excited about your wedding. She was condescending and hateful. She is the true a-hole in this, followed closely by your father. Can your future father-in-law walk you? Good luck with your wedding. In spite of the family drama. Best wishes for a lifetime filled with love and laughter with your soon-to-be husband. Not the a-hole. Could you clarify exactly how they phrased it when your parents disowned you and decided not to be a part of your wedding? This seems so wild. Do your parents have a pattern of siding with your stepsister? Everything about the actions of your parents and stepsister suggests this isn't an isolated incident. My stepsister was my dad and stepmom's first kid together, so she was always seen as the golden child. She got whatever she wanted growing up and never seemed to get into trouble, even if she started it. My parents favor her immensely. When my dad found out about the argument, he called me saying that he wasn't interested in walking a daughter down the aisle who wasn't going to respect her sister. I explained that my feelings were really hurt, and he said that I sounded like my mother. He told me that he didn't want anything to do with me anymore because I was selfish, which led me to argue with him about the years of disrespect I faced from him. The whole thing felt like the cherry on top of a lot of problems we had for a while now. I work in HR in a corporate office for a company I won't mention. I have an intern working under me who has been here for the past 7 months and will be full-time once she graduates. The dress code at my office is business casual, and I have an intern who always dresses very nice. She's usually in a dress or skirt of some kind and does nice makeup, etc. I recently approached her last week because she was wearing a very pretty yellow dress, and I wanted to see my wife wear it. I asked intern where dress was from with the idea of purchasing it for my wife. The intern and my wife are both darker skinned. Intern is black and my wife is Hispanic, so I thought the color would look great on wife. Intern told me she didn't remember where it was from, but would text me to let me know once she found out. I only have her personal number for issues related to work. I've never texted outside of work hours. Later that night, I got a text from her with a link to the dress. I thanked her and ordered it as a surprise for my wife. Wife came into work a day later to drop off my lunch while I was talking to the intern. Intern was wearing the dress. Yesterday, dress came in the mail, and I presented it to my wife, and she flipped. She accused me of trying to make her look like my intern, and that I only got the dress because I secretly liked the intern. I was so confused, and explained that I had no romantic feelings for intern, and only thought the dress would look good on her because of similar skin tones. Wife refused to wear it, and has been pouting all day. Mother-in-law called me on my way to work this morning and said I was insensitive, and shouldn't compare her daughter to a young and skinny intern. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I get it. You saw an outfit that you thought would look good on your wife, and asked the person where they got it. Unfortunately, some people look at context and go straight to pervy thoughts. If a woman asks another woman, no big deal. If a man asks a woman who is the same age as his wife, slightly risky. Asking a younger woman, pervy. No one's thinking, maybe he thinks his wife is hot and can totally pull off a dress a younger woman was wearing. Men aren't quite as likely to dress differently because of age the way women do too. Not sure if you are quite a-hole level, but definitely clueless. You asking an intern about where they buy their clothing and texting about it seems slightly out of bounds, especially for someone working in HR. You buying your wife something you saw on an intern half her age definitely raises suspicion that you might be fantasizing about the intern. Not saying that is true, but I can see how it might look that way to your wife. Dude, really? You need to go on an apology tour, dude. Then you need to give her a wad and tell her to go buy things she would like to wear. Then you need to reinforce how beautiful you find her, and just generally grovel and let her voice be heard. You're the a-hole. Update. Really surprised by the amount of people calling me a creep, horrible person, and claiming that I am somehow cheating on my wife. I've been married to my wife for 19 years and have never been unfaithful to her. Why would I try something on an intern half my age at my place of employment? I like my job and would prefer to not get fired. My intern is a brilliant and hardworking lady, and I would never ruin her career over something as silly as a dress. If she were uncomfortable, we would handle it accordingly. I do believe some of you jump to conclusions very quickly, and it makes me sad that you see so little in other people. I usually buy chocolate or other gifts for her, but wanted to try something different after 19 years of buying similar gifts. Clearly, that was a bad decision. But I do hear your opinion, and have acted accordingly. I have since returned the dress, and am taking my wife to the mall this weekend to pick out something to her liking. For context, my son Elijah is 23 and lives at home partially due to a physical disability. He is currently taking classes online to earn a business degree. He has been with his current and first-time girlfriend Tanya, 24 female, for 2 years. Tanya is also in college, goes to a local brick and mortar. As I understood a few months ago, Tanya gave my son a brand new Xbox Series X, which was a bit odd to me. It's important to note as Tanya's birthday approached, I gave Eli $200 to put towards a decent gift for her, since she randomly gave him something expensive. Fast forward a few weeks, Tanya abruptly stopped coming over. They are adults, so neither my wife or myself pressed him as to why. Eventually, Tanya calls my wife to explain that Eli is refusing to return her Xbox. She was a bit confused. Tanya said they didn't break up, but had a fight before she asked for the Xbox back. She always claimed it was never a gift. We spoke to Eli. He assured us it was absolutely a gift, as it was even wrapped. I felt they needed to figure things out on their own. Last weekend, Tanya came over and approached me in our garage. My son and wife weren't home at the time. She had explained everything, then handed me her phone to read their text history. To summarize, one of Tanya's 3 roommates stole from her. 2 days later, the Xbox she had purchased was delivered. Fearing it would get stolen, she asked my son to hold on to it for safekeeping until she found a new place to live. As a direct quote, "I haven't even opened it yet. Just sucks I'm living with a thief. When I come over, let's set it up so at least you can use it." He acknowledged everything she had said, aside from the entire Xbox ordeal. The more I read, the more livid I became. The things my son said to her, speaking to her in such an extremely condescending manner. I was mortified. This is not the son I raised. I took her into his room and packed up the Xbox. I was in shock to learn about this side of my son I never knew existed. I was asking questions and learned the fight started after he forgot her birthday. Days later, she was very hurt and confronted him. In return, he tossed her a wrinkled-up shirt that had a $10 price tag on it. She did so much for his birthday, helped his mom decorate and throw him a party. They arrived home a few hours after she left. He just stepped over the threshold, and I went off on him. It's not like I can discipline him anymore, but I damn sure wanted him to feel shame and guilt for his appalling behavior. He kept saying that I didn't understand. She's only telling her side. When I informed him the Xbox was gone, He completely threw a 5-year-old tantrum. He called me a ducktard and said I had no business getting involved in his personal relationship. His mother agreed with him and asked what happened to them figuring things out on their own. Legally, she could have just gotten the law involved. 3 days later, he put a keypad lock on his door. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It would be different if he lived in his own apartment, but he is under your roof. You have 100% the right to not want to have some stolen Xbox in your house. You gave it back to the legal owner. You did nothing wrong. Not the a-hole. You did the right thing. Your son attempted to steal from his girlfriend while living under your roof. He is in no place to call you names or throw a tantrum. She was rightly upset. Your son is in the wrong. Your wife is enabling his behavior, which is something you two should communicate with each other about. Edited to add, if they are adults who can figure it out on their own, then they should act like it. Your son is acting like a kid. Perhaps he should be treated like one in this scenario. If he can't act like an adult at the age of 23, it may be necessary for you to get involved so he can take some accountability for his actions before it turns into a lawsuit. Not the a-hole. And if my kid put a lock on their bedroom door in my house without my permission, they'd lose the whole door. My mom named me. My dad was not really involved in my life until I was about 4. So mom named me herself, and I have her last name. Dad did end up stepping up eventually, but I am not super close to him. My mom died when I was 6. My dad was dating Natasha at the time. After Dad realized how hard it was to raise a kid on his own, I guess he decided he and Natasha needed to be more serious. He moved her in within a month of my mom's death, and they were married almost a year after Mom died. Natasha wanted to adopt me. My dad asked me would I consent to that and to my name being changed. I said no. He was like, fine. Told her I would need to get on her side. She was upset I said no. She spent 3 years pretty much attached to my hip, trying to make me love her. She got pregnant near the end of that 3-year period and gave up some, but not entirely. Really, I just got some room to breathe, but she always tried to fill that role of mom in my life. One thing that has always bothered her is my name. It's not your classic common name. I always loved my name, but my stepmother named her kids names like Elizabeth and James. So my name sticks out. I like it. She named her kids, but my mom named me, and I like that my name stands out. A few times she has tried to nickname me something like Emily or Hannah. I've told her that is not my nickname or something I will take as a new name. She told me surely we can find something better. I've told her no many times. She said my name will not age well and will make my life harder when I graduate college and have to find a job. I told her I don't care. A few days ago, she got really frustrated because I had a teacher write father and stepmother on an email she was sending out to parents. Teacher asked if they write mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, mom, stepdad, etc. And I told her father and stepmother. So she was on edge because I didn't ask for the email to be sent to mom and dad. Or just mom, since my dad is pretty checked out. She told me my name was horrible, and my mom tried to make me unique, and in the end, gave me a stupid name. I told her I didn't care about her opinion. She said after 10 years of raising me, didn't she deserve a chance to give me a name she'd like, even a nickname? I told her I was glad she didn't name me, because I found her taste in names just as horrible as she finds my name. I told her it would kill me to have one of her boring names. She freaked out and said I was disrespectful, and to think of what my half-siblings would think if they knew I hated their names. I called her a hypocrite and said I was telling her, not them, unlike her, who decided to tell me for years that she dislikes my name. She sent me to my room that night. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You aren't a dog she found at the pound. She can't just rename you to suit her taste. It sounds like she's not navigated the role of step-parent very well. Not the a-hole. She is out of line and utterly disrespectful to not only your name, but also the memory of your mother, not to mention her total lack of regard for your boundaries. You said no, and it's not your responsibility to manage her feelings for her. I'm sorry you're in this situation, but keep your head high and spine strong. Is there any way you can talk to your dad about the situation? Not the a-hole. I'm sorry your stepmother has, since the very start, way overstepped. She sounds like she has selfishly only cared about her feelings, without thinking about yours. You didn't need a replacement mom. You needed a loving, supportive adult who respected you, your feelings, and your boundaries. Trying to change your name to suit her taste is so tacky and self-centered. I, 30 male, and my wife, 32 female, currently own a 2018 Honda Accord and a Honda Civic. My wife found out she is pregnant and has talked about wanting to get a bigger car. Her car is also high in mileage, as she travels about 1 hour and 30 minutes to work every day. We have 5 corgis that we both love very much. I recently got a promotion at my job and can afford purchasing a used car. She's been talking non-stop about getting a Jeep Cherokee. I found the Jeep Cherokee that I knew she would love in the color that she wanted with low mileage. After everything went through and the car was ready to be picked up, I parked it in the outside garage. When my wife got home, I surprised her with the car and handed her the keys. She looked at me and started crying. She handed me the keys and said, "I am so sorry. I changed my mind. My friend got a Tesla SUV and I took it out to test drive. That's the car I want now. You can sell the car and we can go looking for Teslas this weekend." I was devastated, as it took time to get the loan approved and to purchase the vehicle. The car is also going to be under the insurance. I told her that I was not going to sell the car, as I would drive it and she can drive mine if she wants. She wasn't thrilled with that answer and called me a cheapskate. Am I the a-hole for not selling a car purchased for my wife? Not the a-hole. If she wants the Tesla, she can buy it herself using her own money. This was a gift, and she's acting like a choosing beggar. Come to think of it, this should be probably posted in the CB room. Not the a-hole. A Tesla is a luxury car. You don't need to be spending that much on a car. You went out of your way to get her what she wanted. No fault in you. She needs to be more considerate and less selfish. Seriously, she called you a cheapskate? I think this is just a lesson in car shopping as a couple. Do it together so there's no surprises like this. You're the a-hole. Yes, you went through all that work, etc. But why didn't you discuss this with your wife beforehand and come to a decision together? And why are you the one calling the shots about the new driving arrangement? It's her car. She should be the one deciding what to drive.